Hi there, this is Adrian Paul.
And with him, as always, David Bethke.
Here at the Hollywood Experience. Thank you for joining us. We are excited to bring you this particular episode. We've got a big, full show for you today based on stunts.
Stunts, and if you're a Star Wars fan, by all means, you're really going to love this one because these are people that were in the most recent Star Wars movie, Rise of Skywalker, so Episode 9. So this is going to be a really real big treat today. I'm really happy we got these guys.
Yeah, I had the chance to look at them, but first, we're going to bring you got a big interview here today, guys. You won't be hearing much of us anyway, so don't worry about that. But the podcast has been going now well. It's we've got some great guests coming on soon as well. We're going to be changing up a little bit, but we've also been working on the Patreon stuff, which David, you've been handling that.
Yes. Every time you speak on Patreon to someone, that's usually me who you're talking to, and it's great to speak with all of you. You guys have great questions, great concerns. We're learning a lot from you guys, so thank you all for your input. It's really helping shape the Patreon and helping it become what you guys want it to be, because that's what we want to tailor it to.
So we've been kind of changing things up. I mean, obviously, there's the Lifestyle Essentials. And the funny thing is, when we went into putting Lifestyle Essentials, what is a Lifestyle Essential? I was like, well, it could be training, it could be anything, but there's so many things, and we're going to be doing things on the masks that you've got, not just what ones you wear, but what happens to them after you've worn them, as well as things. We've done breathing exercises, we're going to do stretching, we're going to do travel. Travel has been a big one for July, based on the fact of everywhere that we can go and so many things that travel gives you as a lifestyle. We're also going to be going into horoscopes a little bit, so we've got a lot of stuff that we're going to be happening there.
With the Lifestyle Essentials, we really thought about what makes lifestyle, and we're like, well, you can pretty much draw from any aspect of life, which is travel, which is, things that you believe in, which is anything you eat, socializing. Like, Lifestyle Essentials is pretty much anything that affects your life, and that's what we want to try to go for. We don't want to do just fitness and wellness. We want to do everything.
Well, the thing is also we've got the Film Fight Insights, which basically I do a review on some of the fights, and we pull a lot of information off the net that you can hear sometimes, but you won't have it all in one place. And basically my view on which fight worked and which one didn't. We've done a couple of great fights. We did Princess Bride, which was one of my favorite films.
Yeah, no, Princess Bride, actually, I have the distinction of being born on the day that Princess Bride came out, so I don't know if that dates me. Yeah, no, Princess Bride came out on my birthday in 1987, so that one I hold really close to my heart. I really, really like Princess Bride, and so, yeah, I'm really glad we got to do Princess Bride.
Well, my son, who's 7, he saw it, and he says, I want to watch the film, and he knows, you'll kill my father, prepare to die, and he loves that line. He's 8 years, or he's 8 now, he's 8 years old, and he was just all over that thing, and
yes,
so it was fun, and he knew the different pieces, and what surprised me was he took a lot of the information that we put in there, and he was like, oh, this is the part that he jumped in and he got the stunt double, and that was when he got knocked out, and that was when they had that, and I was like, oh, really? You really listened well to that?
He's picking it out. That's awesome. Have we ever done a Princess Bride fight during the Sword Experience?
No, it's a little harder to do because it's so small. We haven't done one yet, but I may try and do one because, it's such an iconic fight, but it's a different style of fight. It's a lot of small sword work rather than the larger swings that broadswords or katanas or cavalry sabers have, which is really where we go to for the sword experience.
Plus, you're going to have to teach people flips and jumps and things like that, and I don't think you can do that in a 3-hour session.
Well, that is down to the stuntmen, which brings me to today's show. To stuntmen. We've got stuntmen actors. Obviously, we wanted to bring you some interesting stuff. We're going to have, from what I've been told, and this is just between you and me and the wall guys, the entire group of the Star Wars characters.
The Knights of Ren.
The Knights of Ren, yeah. This week, we actually spoke to Anton Simpson-Tidy, Lukaz Leong, and Joe Kennard. And young guys, and Lucas was actually very funny because you'll hear in it, he goes to me, he goes, yeah, I'm the oldest of the group. I'm 30. I'm like, oh, wow, you're old, dude. You're old. So, what's interesting about this one is it's not from the regular point of view that you see. It's really from how you kind of become a stuntman as well, because we talk about what it actually takes to become a registered stuntman in England. So it's an interesting interview, I thought, and different perspectives that we had on this particular interview. So without further ado, because I don't want to leave you hanging, here's what the boys had to say. Okay, guys, hi. How you doing in sunny England at the moment? Lukaz, Joe, Anton?
It's sunny actually, but no, it's been raining today. Yeah, up north.
I'm in London, well, just outside London in Chertsey, mainly south. The weather's a bit better down there.
In Milton Keynes, and it's not too bad today. It didn't rain today. I went to play basketball, so can't complain. Yeah, and that's the only thing that I picked up again, because I used to play a lot. Yeah, it's coming back.
You got involved with the Knights of Ren was 2 years ago when you shot it, right?
Yes.
And where did you shoot it?
Pinewood Studios. We were based at Pinewood on the new side, on the east side there, and then we went to Jordan for 2 months. Some of us went for a bit longer, a bit shorter. But yeah, we did a lot of the desert scene out there, and then a lot of it in the studio. And tell me what your roles were. I mean, I know what you did. I know, Anton, you did. Which one were you in the Knights of Ren? You were He's the good-looking
Cool one.
the cool one. Okay, brother. We know.
Favorite.
Vikrul, right?
Yeah,
No.
He was people's choice. Yeah, he had the best-looking helmet. Daft Punk.
Okay, all right. So okay, you got Vikrul and Lukaz. You did Aplek.
I'm gonna get mine.
And how'd you call it? Come on, I want to hear it. Oh, you got it. See.
I feel bad now. I've got to go get mine.
Find you. Let me find you. Wait, where did my son put you? Hold on.
Oh, your son plays in the Z. That's good.
Your son must be really kind of choked because Star Wars is all kids. Even my 7-year-old was like, "Oh, Star Wars," and he'd never seen it. You know.
I think he's a bit too young for it at the moment. I think eventually he might be proud of me. So, and basically, Joe, you played Kuruk. Was it Kuruk?
Yeah, Kuruk, the sniper, one of the lucky guys with a gun.
Sorry, one of the lucky guys that were what?
With a gun. Me and Martin were the only two with guns. So any fight scene, we were like, I don't know, what, like red zone, because we could just shoot whoever was in play. So we taken out quickly, or like out of the shot.
So tell me, when they did those shots, did they use any like tracers, or there was no sound going from the gun, was there, or was there?
No, I don't think we ever fired it. Like we did in some fights, but you never like when we there was one thing we did like the main fight between us and Kylo. We did a 1.5-minute version and then a short version which was like 18 to 20 seconds. But I don't think in the full version, in the short version, we even shot the guns because we're like escorting him. Me and Martin have got him like on arm and in cuffs, and we're like dragging him along, and then we're first to go. He chops us down first at the end of us.
Oh, so you never came back?
No, he kills us off in that, and then TV show.
So tell me, which one of you is here? Look, see, I've got all the background set up. I had it all ready for you, so I could see which one of you is which. Which one's which? I'll go the other way. Hold on a second. Let's go this way.
Anton's on your right, yeah.
Yeah.
Father, yeah.
That one.
This one?
This one.
That's Anton. Right. So what one are you, Lukaz?
The one behind. You see, the biggest weapon's always got to be behind, because otherwise they'll be blocking everyone.
This one?
Yeah, from your right, it's Anton, Lukaz, me.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Anton.
So now I've got you all set up there. All right, because now I know which ones you were in there. So I actually had to pull that picture out because I knew I'd now figure out which one of you was which, because I think I'm talking to the other 3 soon too.
Yeah, good. I hope to watch that.
Well,
Is there any way we can watch that?
Yeah, what I'm going to do is, what you mean, actually do this at the Zoom call? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, it doesn't matter to me either way, but I'd like to see like them. It'd be nice to get in.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll send you the I'll get my team to send you the both podcasts when they come out, because I haven't set up their one yet, because getting 3 people together or 4 people together is it's harder to do. So I thank you for getting the time together today, boys. But it's a little harder. So when I get them, I'll send you the episode that they're in. I might even tell you when they're on. You might jump them for something. I don't know.
Martin's texting us now, trying to find out how he can look at us.
Did you guys know each other before you did it?
Yeah, we did, didn't we? I met.
No, I met Joe and Martin.
Oh yeah,
And
no,
Lucas.
I only met Anton actually. Yeah, I worked with the other boys before. Me and Lukaz done a couple of different projects together. And we did a lot of training.
Yesterday, I was gonna share the Facebook pictures. Me and you, Joe, on the climbing. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw Tien's one. So we did. So for the stunt register in the UK, I don't know if you know that you've got to do 6 disciplines, and like most gyms in the UK, like gymnastics centres, people kind of group together when they're training. And Lukaz and me trained at Beckton, and we went on like several different climbing trips together and did some of our high diving together, and it was brilliant. Like that climbing trip that we went on just before our test was like the hottest day of the year. It was a perfect day. We logged a load of climbs, and then we jumped off a bridge and swam in a couple of lakes, and that was like some of our stunt training.
So you said you do routines. So when you do the what disciplines do you have to sort of go through?
They're all pretty similar. Like the boys are martial artists. I'm not. My background's motorbikes and gymnastics, but so for the register I did judo, so I probably don't stand out as a fighter in any scenes. But we all kind of did the same things, like gymnastics, high diving, rock climbing. I had motorbikes, trampolining, scuba diving, and then you guys probably had a couple of different ones.
I did martial arts, trampolining, scuba, swimming, rally driving.
Oh yeah.
And I can't remember the other one.
What about you, Lucas?
I think the only different one I've done from the boys is I did driving as well, and then I did swimming. Yeah, pretty much similar to Anton, really. I think. Yes, swimming was hard.
So how do they grade you on this? Like you said, you did martial arts, you did swimming. What, you just jump in a pool and they go, do a length and then we'll pass you. What's the grading on each of these things?
A lot of them are based, right? Like the high diving, you graded to Olympic standards, but you have to have like a minimum of a 5 out of 10 to pass. Gymnastics, you have to be, I think, level 3, is it, coach ability or something, or be graded by level 3 coach and do a syllabus of moves. There's like 10 moves on the floor, on apparatus. Then rock climbing, you had to do your SPA, your single pitch award, get to that level.
Well, say that again. You had to do your SBA, your single what?
It's called your single award. It's like a mountaineering climbing level where you're given a certificate, allows you to take kids out on group abseils and climbing, which we've never done. Just get that.
But you never know. It's still a certificate that later on you can do it.
Yeah, well, everyone, and each one takes like a year. So not only do you have to have at least a year of experience in each category, you have to have and prove it. The training takes at least a year to do it, so it's time consuming, the process and stuff.
So each one you have to do a year?
Yeah, like you have to prove that
at least
ability for a year.
What did they do in the martial art background, Anton?
For martial arts, you have to get below the level below black belt. So what? Obviously, in different styles, it's different. So it might be like brown belt, brown black, stripe, just whatever below black. But let's be honest. To be honest, all these like trainings and certificates just to get us in the door. So you can do horse riding, you can do so many other things, but in the end, it's to get us in the door. And then the real thing is when we get to the job and get the audition. That's it. isn't it?
Yeah, it's a baseline, right? That all these skills give you a general baseline of abilities across the board, so that when you turn up on set, because most of I've never done a water job, so my scuba diving and high diving really not appropriate so far, but you get a good range of skills, and then you're thrown into the mix for these random fight scenes or high falls, and it just gives you those abilities that you wouldn't have had you turned up on set. A lot of countries don't have a stunt register like the UK, so having one kind of limits what people can turn up on each day of work, and you kind of know those people have a certain level of training and ability that you can trust, and it kind of gives you a bit of faith in the people you're working with.
So what did they do? Did they tell you, okay, so let's say that you go into your audition and you basically say, okay, yeah, I can do this, this and this and this. They look at you to say whether you're the physical type for the role. You get on set, you talk to the stunt coordinator, and he goes, okay, you look like you've done this. Can you do a high fall? How did that process go for each of you?
Hey, me, bam. So you're saying when we go to audition, right?
Well, you've done the audition, right? So then, obviously, it's not. Is it the stunt coordinator that does the auditioning, or is it the producers or the directors that do the auditioning?
Normally, it's most of the time.
Yeah,
I think
stunt
all the time
coordinator.
actually, stunt coordinator. Yeah. So.
Or fight coordinator.
Yeah. Obviously, first of all, you need to fit the looks. Once you got the look, then they probably gonna ask you, all right, can you do a high fall? And if you say yes, then you better be able to. Yeah, otherwise you'll be embarrassing yourself, embarrassing the stunt coordinator and the other departments as well. So, right?
So we're all quite fortunate. We're all similar heights, so we tick the box for stormtroopers, all average 5'11", 6 foot. Then when we got on Eunice, our boss, and Michael Lambert, our fight coordinator, I think we were put forward for the roles of Knights of Ren for maybe abilities, like the boys, martial artists, me and Martin, gymnastics, maybe move well, can do some things with a gun. So each of the Knights of Ren maybe had a certain ability or trait, but I think maybe I was there at the beginning to do stormtrooper stuff. I started on the team with Eunice, and I came over we did Fantastic Beasts before, and I think Lukaz as well, and then I met you, Anton, when you auditioned, right? So I think you were going straight for the role already, because Anton's very good martial artist.
I think I auditioned with Lucas, or I was auditioning with Lucas.
Did we do the same one? We didn't do the same one.
No, we were in different. But I can remember seeing you there. But Ash.
Oh no, you did it after me. Yeah, that was scary.
Why? Anyway, Ash was obviously Guillermo. His wife was having a baby, so he was going to Spain. And then Mike, or I think Ash told Mike that I could cover for him, so I ended up covering Ash for about 2 or 3 weeks while he went to Spain, and then I got told that I got the job. But yeah, me and Lucas auditioned. Joe was already on the core team, and Martin was on the core team, and Ash. So then you kind of got put into the role. But yeah, me, Lucas, and Tom auditioned. Tom was in my audition.
So when you two boys did martial arts, right? You did karate do, right, Anton? And what style did you because I got my info on you. So Lucas, what style did you do?
So me, long story. I did obviously when I was young.
What do you mean when you were young? You're still young. Are you kidding me?
I'm old now. I'm 30.
Oh my gosh! Then I'm ancient, brother.
So martial art wise, I've been jumping martial art here and there. So since little, my mum put me into kung fu, and then couple years I didn't like it, and I went to karate. Couple years didn't like it, and I went straight to other sports such as basketball, swimming, and all that. So my parents always pushed me. So, but then to be honest, I didn't enjoy martial arts till later age. So in the end, I also did judo, eskrima. And then I'm back on taekwondo, and then back on kung fu a little bit with the
breakdancing.
And breakdancing, I forgot about that. That was yeah. So all my life I've been jumping around here and there. I'm not a specialist in any martial art, but I can do a bit of everything.
Do you think in your martial arts, guys, and in your gymnastics, that one thing helps another? I mean, I found it did, because I mean, I used to choreograph, I used to dance, I did martial art. I've done martial arts for years, but I found, it's just a slightly different discipline. You talk about kung fu, you talk about karate, right? You're going to break somebody like this, or you're going to break them like this. The motion is the same, but does one motion, like a gymnastics background, help you with the movement that you were doing in the Star Wars thing and martial arts as well?
Yeah, I think especially for spatial awareness, like if you've got acrobatic background, or like I'm tricking, kind of all done a bit of tricking, but yeah, especially if you're on like the wires or you're taking reactions, then having an acrobatic background is going to help with spatial awareness.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I talk about a lot when I do events, and I actually have an event in Santa Clara now, which is actually an academy that I'm doing, and that is one of the things I talk about, your spatial awareness, because you got to know what's happening here, because if you're in a group fight, it's totally different than if you're on a one-on-one. So you got to know what somebody else is doing, because if they're not in the right position, you want to be sort of aware of what's going on behind you.
Yeah, and learning like the choreo as well, obviously through like your martial arts, mainly for me. I mean, if you've done like karate or taekwondo or kung fu, then you're gonna learn like katas. It's kind of the same, like learning the choreography. Or if you've done like dancing, it helps. Yeah, it helps with going through like the routines and choreography. It's easy to pick up, I think. So I kind of like digest it in a similar
fashion.
Learn a kata.
Yeah, right. What about you boys? You've been quiet for a little bit though, Joe.
I like listening. No, it definitely helps, because the boys, great martial artists, not a strong martial art background, but I feel like I can pick up routines or choreographed fights quite well, and like I get tips from them so much that I'm hyper flexible, hyper mobile, so I can kind of do the things they can do, but I'm not as good as them. So like maybe I can hold my leg up in a kick position, but selling it in a fight, I need tips from the boys. So like also with a gun, not doing so much maybe melee, like physical attacks, so looking cool in the background and making cool poses, and in the transitions, quite important. So getting tips off like Ash and Tom and the boys are so good for like hitting cool positions, or like certain stances and certain martial art moves that I don't know of, that I'm not aware of. I'm kind of definitely lucked into that position, but I'm good on a wire and maybe not as strong technically in martial arts. But the boys, it helps being physical, definitely.
I think I'm gonna change my background again now, just to get you another thing going on. That gets you now really into the world. What was the hardest thing you had to do on this particular movie? That's difficult. What's that?
Lukaz wins.
Lukaz.
Lulu fight.
You had a what?
It was the costumes, really.
It was the costumes was the hardest thing?
It wasn't anything crazy hard. Like, I mean, Joe had some cool gags.
Oh yeah, we all played like different roles.
I think it all comes down to the costume, especially for Lukaz.
Yeah, Lukaz had an injury. Lukaz had an injury fight.
No, because that was I was really unlucky, so I got put to do this fight, Honolulu, which is the Luke Skywalker flashback, and then I was really unlucky. What is it called? The eye thing.
It's an eye infection.
No, there's a term for it.
What?
Meningitis.
Was it a star in the eye?
Yeah, it was really bad. It was swollen, and then literally I can't even open my eyes just before shooting. And then our boss Eunice did ask me, "Can you do it?" I did the fight with. It was 3-day shoot, and I did the fight with one eye, and then as any action film. Actually, at the second day, my second eye starting to go as well. It was funny, and then.
About the masks.
The mask.
The masks were meant to be like they're blindfolded, right? And you had this much vision with one man.
So you had limited vision because they only showed the eyes, right?
And then I think that's what everything comes with like space awareness. Obviously, like I trained with T, which is my partner, my dance partner, doing the fight scene, and then I know her well, and she knows me well, and then we gel so well together. So I think everything went pretty good, yeah. But it's a shame that the full version didn't come out. So I hope they will release it at some point. But
so you guys, I mean, obviously Knights of Ren isn't the only thing you guys have done. Joe, I know you did Assassin's Creed, and you got boys have been doing it. How long have you guys been official stunt guys, and what other roles are kind of interest that you might want to talk about?
I think me and Joe about 6 years.
Well, I got on in 2017.
Oh, I'm the oldest here then. Hey,
that was the end of my third year last year. Yes, this is my fourth year. We're not working, but
okay. So me, I started freelancing around I think 13, and then officially start working more around 2015.
When did you get on the register?
Oh, 2015. Hey, don't trick me, bro. No. 2015, yes.
I think this might be my third year. I've done like two and a half years, 3 years. I think this is my third year.
And has there been any other picture, movie, TV show, or anything that kind of was fun to be on, or that or what was your first job? That'd be another interesting thing. What was your first gig? And we're not going back that far back. I know what my first gig was, and that was like 30 years ago. So
mine was Into the Badlands.
Into the Badlands.
Into the Badlands, yeah.
Where did they shoot that?
Ireland.
Oh, in Ireland, did they?
Yeah, Ireland, 2017 to 18.
What season was that? Do you know?
3.
3.
They did 2 and 3 in Ireland, and the first one was in the US somewhere. I don't know where.
Oh, it's interesting. I might have to do it because I go to Ireland a lot. I come to England, Scotland, Ireland, France. I do all these gigs, and I was going to have a retreat in Ireland this year. And a lot of time I used to do Game of Thrones stuff because Game of Thrones was shot there, as well as Vikings. But I didn't know that Into the Badlands was shot there.
Yeah, there's a few things. There's a few things happening in Ireland.
Yeah, I know. It's there's a lot happening. I know they've got a new studio happening down in the south there. They're just building a whole brand new studio, which is like a £50 million studio. Oh no, it's more than that. It's about 150 million. It's huge. That they just greenlit and they're beginning to build now. We've got one in Hungary that we're working on. So the movie industry is going to get bigger, and there's a lot of stunts coming, and films, etc. Because the exponentially, you've got so much digital content through Netflix and Amazon and Hulu and all this stuff. Have you guys? I mean, I know you guys have been in for five years, etc. Have you guys found any difference than when you first started? How much work there was? Has that changed at all over the past couple of years?
Yeah, as now.
Oh yeah, now's different.
Pandemic.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let's start with before the pandemic, and we'll do post-pandemic.
We were part of the very lucky group that when we got on, or I say for the 3-4 years when we all got on the same time frame, it was booming. It was so busy. It is still so busy. Just things are on the shelf. It's got like we've got a tax break here. I guess the UK has on
25%.
25%, same as Atlanta, right? So everything going from Cali to Atlanta.
Well, actually, Atlanta's higher. Atlanta's now about 30%. Yeah, I mean, it depends. The difference between the tax credits in different regions, because I do all of this stuff, is that Hungary's now is going up to 30, 35 maybe, because the Bulgaria's gone up as well. But in the United States, the difference is in England. I think England is, I'm not sure, but Canada, for instance, is government backed. So a lot of times some productions go into Atlanta or wherever, and that state has a certain amount of money that year to give to a production. If you're one of the productions that comes in at the end and they run out of money, you're out of luck. So, but Canada then says, well, if that happens, the government will back the tax credit. So you know, I mean, I know England's got so many great crews, it's got great actors, it's got great stunt guys. I mean, I've worked a couple of times in England, and there's really good people there. So therefore, you know, people are going to go there, even though the pound isn't necessarily as advantageous to the Americans as maybe the dollar is, as the Canadian dollar or Europe is. But it's got such great facilities. But now, how is that? Were you guys going to go on to something else after this? Or are you on hold for anything at the moment?
Yeah, I was going to start a job in April with, well, me and Anton were lucky enough to do, we stayed with Eunice and the team and did Eternals, Marvel's last film in the UK, and we got on with the actors really well. It was actually a really fun film, and I'm going to stick with the actor and go on to a TV show which was starting in April, but it's been confirmed to start in March, so now not working until March. Trying to keep busy, next year. So it is what it is, and like very, you know, lucky to have health and situation we're in. So just gonna train and try and keep busy. It is what it is.
What about you boys? Are you on hiatus from anything, or just waiting for the next thing to start ramping up again?
Yeah, I was on Jurassic World just before everything kicked off, like literally the week before. I think that's just starting up now again. But yeah, just waiting for things to start up again, really.
Lukaz, you?
For me, I'm working tomorrow. It's a Jurassic, so they started up the production again. So we just got 2 days here and there, and then let's see what happens. And then nothing big after. Because for me, it's about color, you know. Asian life matter. Because if I don't fit the role, then pretty much there's no reason for them to call me. It's just like said enough to say that. I speak for all my Asian boys. If anyone Asian boys listening, they will know, you know.
So tell me, I know here.
Asian life matter.
Yeah, you got people going, white lives matter, black lives matter, Asian lives matter. Now it's become, you know, all over. I mean, I get it, but some people are like, it's gotten out of hand. You've got right wing, left wing. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. But
let's not get political.
Yeah, let's not get political. I hate getting politics.
No.
Exactly. But have you been back on a set since this thing kicked off?
Tomorrow is my first day.
Because I'm going to be kind of interested to find out, because I know for a fact our protocols that we've looked at for Europe, and I know here in America they're so strict. I mean, they have things now that you can't, like, the crew can't talk to actors. You can have nobody else on set except the people that are working. I mean, there is cleaning this. You can't eat here. You can't. I mean, it is extremely strict. Have you guys been advised of any of that stuff happening in the stunt world?
Ash is working at the minute.
It seems a lot lax over here. My housemate went back to Atlanta, and after filming, he has to go back to hotel room and not leave the hotel room. So he's not allowed to go out unless it's for work. So now his work time is 24 hours a day, arguably.
Right.
Like no social contact or anything. That's crazy. Whereas here, you know, it's you do your scene, cut, but because some of the boys are telling me horror stories, which they're not horror stories. It's just going to be an adjustment, I guess. And like you're doing a scene with someone fighting and up close, and then on the cut, okay, 2 meter distance, put your mask back on. It kind of defeats the purpose because you've already been in contact, and now you're being kind of reprimanded for, you know, not putting your mask on and not being 2 meters apart. I just don't think it's gonna be a hard adjustment.
It's a tough. It's going to be an interesting adjustment. I think this thing, you know, it'll take another 6 months or a year before we get anywhere near getting any sort of normalcy back, or having things in place like you're talking about, not being able to get. I'm wondering how they're going to do love scenes. I mean, you're talking about, you know, going up close to somebody in a fight, but then in a love scene, you're with somebody. What are they? Both 2 week quarantines and temperature every day, and being checked up all the time. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be, you know, I'm going to be interested to see how that's going to actually unfold. But you know, I heard it was a little different there. That's why I was kind of curious as to what the thing was and whether you'd actually heard about it. When you said horror stories, was there any other horror stories that came up from that?
Just mainly like a slap across the hand. Like if your boys can't do this, you know, we'll get people in who can, because productions are now over budget and delayed, and they're trying to avoid themselves of liability. You know, get scenes shot, get it done, tucked away, and they're probably coming up against people that are like excited to be back to work, and I don't know. It's got to be not a nice scenario, I guess. Masks on all the time. Everyone's a bit more.
I know one thing is just that I think every couple of days or maybe every time when you get back to work, first thing first is pretty much you get test temperature, and then you get the COVID test, which is provided by the production. There's actually a tent made for that, and then you go in for a test, a swab test, is it?
Yeah, swab test like every 3 days or something.
It's not nice.
Is it a nasal swab test?
Yeah.
It was it puts swab the back of your throat and then pull it out, and same cotton bud, and then stuck in your nose. Yes, Joe. No, honestly, is that? I was a bit surprised, but yeah, some is easier than the other, yeah. But it's been.
I mean, I kind of find it funny because, like, you're talking about people doing swab tests and sticking things up your nose and down your throat. Here, you have people protesting actually just putting a mask on. I mean, the people. Is it the same in England? Do you have the same issues in England like that or not?
Actually, there's some, isn't it?
Yeah, there has been.
There's £100 on the spot fine if you're in a establishment without a mask. Which I guess is fine. They gave people like 2 weeks to get masks, but the States have got a whole nother world of problems going on, right?
I just watched a video from Florida. There was a town meeting, and these people were swearing at the councilman, saying, "You can't make us wear masks. It's our right. It's this. It's that. God tells me I have a breathing apparatus," and I'm like, well, the breathing apparatus will kill you eventually. So why didn't you just? It's a simple mask to put on. You know, it's the unalienable right to bear arms, to freedom of speech and everything else that they run their lives on, but they can't give. And I think that's a mistake. I think you have to, in certain situations, like anything, you go in and do a stunt, you go in and do a thing, something will happen during the stunt that was not planned, and you have to adapt to it. I used to do loads of stunts. I've done pulls off of bridges. I've done falls over cars. I've done all that. So I've never got hit by a car. I wouldn't do that. I let my stunt guy do that. But you know, but something goes wrong. Something will happen. My stunt guy at one point, he was doing a car hit, and he was ready for it because he had the pads on his shins, and he was padded up, and the car came like this. But as he jumped, his pads caught the fender of the car, and it flipped him like that. It literally, I mean, I saw him go up, he hit the back of the car and smacked on the floor and didn't move. And everybody went, and then he went, "Oh, okay, I'm fine." But it was unexpected. It's an unexpected thing that happened that, you know, you just can't do. But you can gauge for as much as you want. My accidents, I've fallen on my head twice. One was on a wire work and another one was off a pair of stairs. And it was a stupid thing. You know, it's a stupid. Have you guys ever gotten injured in anything you've done yet? Because I hate to tell you, will, but
only little niggles. Yeah, nothing crazy.
Yeah, touch wood, just go away with it every time.
More injured.
Go away with it.
Done.
I mean, a lot of the time, the majority of the things, and this is what I've learned throughout doing all this stuff that I've done through the years, is all the stuff that is really, you know, done correctly or like pre-practiced and rigid. A lot of the time, nothing happens. It's the silly little thing. Somebody says, "Can you just jump over that chair?" And all of a sudden, something you're not prepared for, your jeans are too tight or something, and you land on the floor. You know, there's a stunt guy that he was one of the best motocross guys, I think, and he'd done all these jumps and all these through windows and all this, and he's traveling home, and something happened. He went into a ditch and got killed. So I mean, you just it's the stupid things that you just don't think of. Why did you guys become stunt guys? Why did you want to do it?
Who's first?
You look good. Lukaz, you go.
Oh, me?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you got first, Lukaz.
How? Okay, yeah, here we go. You ready? No. So, why? So, funny enough, I got a friend of mine. I was still in uni at that point, and then one of my friends just suddenly asked me, "Hey, you look good. I need an Asian guy, do some flip in a music video." That's it. And then I just said, all right, I'll do it. And then it was silly money. And then we had to travel like 4 hours there and then 4 hours back, literally, and do the job. So, and then I did it, and then I enjoyed it. And then later, again, some small gags. Yeah, I got paid. And then I got some small gags comes in as well. So I was still in uni, so I'd do anything, right? So and then got this green screen. Is it called Dynasty Warriors? So it's Asian warriors, and then we got a massive green screen, and then we get weapons, and then we get camera in front of us, and then we just go, okay, you guys are gonna line up in front of the green screen, and then we go 3, 2, 1, action, and you're charging towards the camera, right? And then I just enjoyed it, and then it's just it was fun. It was fun. Again, it was a long travel, silly money. But then later, as I went, because I went gymnastic gym with Joe and only Joe here in Beckton. So I met a lot of other stunt guys, and then obviously got to know more information about it, and then I got the real experience on set was really through the extra jobs, doing backgrounds and stuff, and then you get to know what's really the movie world is. Behind the camera or in front of the camera, you see the actors, you see the stunts happening, and then it just goes from there. And then I just enjoyed it and look for a stunt register, and then know the right people, and then got me through the door, finished the training, and then that's it. Here I am.
Was that what you always wanted to do, or was that just something? What did you want to do?
What did I want to do? To be honest, I don't know.
Yeah, I was the same. Don't worry. When I was your age, I had no clue.
I find out. Look, 'cause I'm not gonna lie. Like I didn't know, and then but I know it. When the camera's on, 3, 2, 1, action. My mind just go blank, and I love it. And then I might not remember the move here, but I remember in my muscle memory. So it just the action is there. You just love it, and then you just perform.
That's what it is. You wanted the spotlight. What about you boys?
I've got mine. What about you boys?
Anton's a little prodigy, aren't you? Go on.
Anton, you go.
I've always wanted to be in the TV and film industry, probably from when I was about 10, but I just didn't know kind of what. I just wanted to perform, to basically just do my martial arts in front of a camera. Because when I was roughly about 10, I started martial arts, and it was on my first grading. Did have an award ceremony, when you get your belts, but it also have different awards for best newcomer, or I don't know, random awards, best dancers, whatever. I think I won I've got three different awards for different things, best newcomer or something like
best
that.
Train, best singers,
best looking,
best trainers. But yeah, it was one thing that my instructor or sensei said that kind of stuck with me. And he just said watch out for this kid, he's going to be in movies. So from that grading, that kind of stuck with me. So I'd always wanted to be in the film industry. But I'd also always wanted to make a living from martial arts. So anyway, a couple of years later, I'm competing, doing a few live shows, and I'm in the same team as Chloe Bruce, who's also a stunt performer, and she just got a call to do Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of when I found out about the whole stunt register route, because before then I knew of stunt performers, but to me it was kind of just more of a daredevil. So the big bike jumps or getting the cannon and fired. It was more if someone said stunt performance to me, I'd think of kind of daredevil or circus acts, rather than the martial arts performer that's fighting the good guys or whatever, which is kind of what I wanted to do, because I didn't want to act, but I wanted to do my martial arts in movies, kind of being the bad guy that doesn't do much talking, which I guess that's kind of what we did in Star Wars. But yeah, so anyway, I found out about the stunt register through Chloe, and then there was a few other guys that got on the register, Ashley Beck, who you'll also be talking to, Rashid, Errol, some of the trickers. And then that's kind of just what I wanted to do.
What about you, Joe?
And it kind of all came together.
What about you, Joe?
Indiana Jones. I wanted to be Indiana Jones when I was a kid, and I must have been. My nephew was here yesterday, and my mum and sister just like, "That's you. That annoying little kid is you. Just endless energy, running around non-stop." And they always bring out these little home videos of I'm running around, and like we had a big treehouse in the garden, and like a shed down the end with the trampoline next to it. We used to set up like little things to run and jump on it and dive off. We had little mats, and really fortunate to have like trampolines thing growing up. But I always used to race motocross. Since I was like 3, I was on bikes. My dad used to race, and I got into it that way. And I knew that some people rode bikes on films, and I thought that'd be amazing. I'll do action sequences on films. And then I kind of rode for a race team, and then got injured and broke my back when I was like 17. So that was the end of motocross. And at the same time, this whole parkour community and parkour was kicking off. So I was going to gymnastics for part of my rehab, and I met a guy called Sam Parham, free runner, tricker, and like a great stunt guy who lives in the States now. And he just kind of opened the door to me to that world. Like he was going off on the week. I met him on the weekends, and then he'd be like doing Harry Potter and like these films that I'm amazed by, like I wanted to be in. So he told me about stunts, and then like 8 years later, I started training because it was just, you know, these guys are top gymnasts or really high level athletes, and I was just thinking I'm never going to do that, and I just wanted to do stunts. So I carried on training without training for the register. I was just active and doing like rock climbing, scuba diving, and then I think I kind of got enough courage together about 10 years after that, and it took me 3 years to get on the register. I think I took 2 years out, just took a loan out, started training, and I just wanted to be. I actually thought I wanted to be an actor until I got an acting role and never wanted to act again.
Yeah, why?
You do look like an actor.
No, actually, I really like this. So Paul Greengrass on Bourne, I went to Tenerife for a month for the last Bourne they did, and I got an agent role. I was just an American agent, generic, with a couple of lines of dialogue which got cut, but we filmed anyway, which was embarrassing enough. And he was just a really nice guy. I did the first round of auditions, went back, did the second round. They wanted someone that could say a few words but do an athletic role. And Gary Powell was the stunt coordinator. And I knew of him. I knew that he was like a top coordinator at the time, and he was a brother Greg was doing like Avengers and all these big films. And I had to get killed by the female lead in it, and she just hits me over the head with a pole, do a little twist, hit the floor. And when I came over, I was like buzzing. I was like, oh, this is where I died. I'm going to do this little cool little twist, and hopefully he'll like it. And I said to Gary, I was like, do you want me to show you like what I thought I could do? And he went, don't worry, we'll get one of the stunt boys to do it. Don't worry yourself. And I was like, shit. I was like, the only thing I was thinking I was going to do in the film or looking forward to do, I wouldn't do it. And then one of the stunt guys on it I'd met before, and he was like, let's just Vangelis. It was Vangelis from Star Wars, Lukaz. That's how I met him. So one of the our guy that came up to Jordan and ran the Jordan unit while main unit was still in the UK was a guy called Vangelis. He's a stunt legend, really nice guy. And he was like, Gary, let me work with Joe. I'll see if we can get him to where you want to go and like what you want to do. Because I wasn't a stunt guy. I was a nobody actor in this film that had to fall over basically. So why would they want to waste time on me? But working with him and Andy Lister was going to do it for me. Oh, he's like a wushu champion. He's amazing.
So you're perfect double.
Yeah, literally. A guy that looks exactly like me that can do everything I can't. Come and stood next to me. And luckily, he had to go and do something else. So they kind of warmed me up, and I was almost ready to do it. I was like, got some pads with me if you want. And I just thought, I don't want to do this. I want to do what they're doing. And because they cut, went off and did more action scenes. Cut off, went home. Like, I was just thinking, no, I want to do stunts. It's like, I'd rather do the hard work and the hard hits than be in the limelight. Like, it was a much better fit.
So in conclusion, guys, what would you tell people if they were looking to be kind of stunt? Because there's going to be a lot of people listening to this that, you know, there might be younger guys that want to maybe do it. What do you think their road should be if they wanted to pursue a career in stunts?
Enthusiasm.
Oh, what the road should be.
I think whatever they're doing, especially in the UK, if they've achieved all the abilities and got the credentials to be on the stunt register, I don't think it's so much like standing out, because it's all word of mouth here. It's still quite a very small community. Like, I'm very new and at the bottom of a very long list of stunt performers in the UK. But
no, you're here now, Joe. You're here.
well, we're all working quite a lot, right? We're all very. It's just shut up and get on with it. Like, a lot, like, don't do it for other reasons. Like, a lot of the new kids, maybe some new kids, I'm a new kid, but maybe want to stand out more for other reasons, rather than, you know, you're lucky enough to have the opportunity to do the job as our seniors would see it. You know, they didn't have as many opportunities, and we're all kind of reminded of that a lot. And it's nice to just see people that want to work hard. Like, I mean, like me, who's been on it 3 years.
What about you boys? Got any thoughts before we cut off?
I think route-wise, speaking from like a martial arts background or tricking, because you get a lot of, especially acrobatics, a lot of like gymnasts or trickers that kind of just assume that all they're going to be doing is tricking and flipping, but it's not the case. Like, to be fair, like, reactions is kind of your bread and butter. So learning your reactions and how to fall, and just to understand that it is dangerous and you do get hurt, you get bruises and bumps, and you're probably not going to throw many tricks, if at all. I've probably, if I ain't done any tricks. I've done a few martial arts movies, but they're very like far and few, really. So yeah, that's the only advice I guess I'd give, is just not to expect to be doing all martial arts.
What about you, Lukaz, being the old man of the group?
Oh, the old man. Again, I only had a few years experience in my sleeves, but one thing I definitely gather is, if you don't have the passion, or you don't like to be in front of the camera, you don't like to be a performer, people can tell, and then it's not going to be a long-term thing. Because, I mean, you can make money in any career, but if you don't like what you enjoy doing, then that's pretty much.
Yeah, there's a level of acting to it as well.
So if you haven't got
it's not just dying and reactions, and
right.
You've got to portray certain emotions.
You get guys that are like, oh yeah, I'm not going to say any lines, I'm just going to do the fight scenes, and then the director, or you've definitely seen it before, where they go, I like that guy's look, I want him to do this scene, and then you see them kind of freeze.
Yeah.
It's a bit outside some people's comfort.
You know, we could go ahead, guys. Go ahead, Lukaz.
Oh no, just one more thing is this quick adaptation, isn't it? So you're able to adapt quickly. That's one major point to succeed as a stunt guy, I think. Also timing as well. You got to hit the right spot and stuff.
Do you know there's a saying that the ability for a species to survive is its ability to adapt. So, you know, I think that runs through absolutely everything that we're talking here. I would love to go on, but we're already done nearly 50 minutes, and I've got an hour show here. So I'm going to bring the acting thing up. I would like to talk that, but I'll talk to the other three about that, and you can hear what they say, and you can agree or disagree afterwards. But guys, thanks a lot for joining me, and I'll have the stuff sent out to you through Derek, probably, if that's the easiest way of doing it.
I like to do it this way as well, because the other three are probably the professionals. They're definitely so you'll get better answers out of them.
You know what? I think any answer is a good answer when it comes from different people, because everybody's got a different point of view on stuff.
You know.
Grown-ups.
Yeah. Okay. Well, am I going to call them the old men?
I'm a grown up here. I'm the old man here.
All right, boys. Well, listen. Thanks a lot, and be safe. All the best. I hope the productions open up soon and you get back to work.
Thanks, mate. Nice to meet you.
Take care, guys. Take care, guys. Bye.
Hey everyone, it's Ethan with Combat Radio and Brigade Radio 1. By now, you know about Adrian Paul's sword experience, right? The epic adventures, the retreats in exotic places, the staging from movies, the sword fighting, etc. Epic, right? You should be a part of that. But if you're not, now there's something even better. One, the Hollywood Experience, Adrian's new podcast featuring action stars, showrunners, all things action, free on all platforms, including Brigade Radio 1, a podcast you need to listen to. In addition to that, now you can go to patreon.com/swordxp and you can become a Patreon of the Sword Experience. Get all kinds of special, free classes, tips, one-on-one training, everything you possibly need. Go to patreon.com/swordxp, sign up today, find the Hollywood Experience on Brigade Radio 1 and other major platforms, and be a part of the action.
Wow. Okay, so from what I understand, being a stuntman is more than just taking a couple of acting classes, going to school for acting, and all of a sudden you're a stunt person, I should say. It's you've got levels of things that you have to go through. You have to make sure that if you want to be adept at swimming, you have to take at least a year of swimming. If you want to be adept at martial arts, you got to take at least a year of martial arts. And it's like level by level by level, certification by certification, if I can say that right. And you have to maintain it.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, Joe, said, I wasn't a martial artist, and it took me a little longer, but they showed me the moves, and as long as you could move, you could look like you were doing that. We didn't talk about acting per se, although Joe said, as you heard, he said, I was going to become an actor, and then when I tried doing a stunt, basically in one of the films, I actually saw what the stuntmen were doing, and I really wanted to do what they did, so that's where he kind of threw him into doing that instead.
Right? Yeah. No, I mean, it's incredible. It's insane how they have to, how you can use your skills, your real life skills in your acting. You can't just decide that you want to be a stuntman. You have to train and become agile. You have to be a great swimmer. You have to have the not the know-how, but the want to be lit on fire, essentially.
I wonder how long of a year you have to actually study to do that.
Yeah, no, seriously. Is it something that you have to mentally prepare themselves for, or is it all right, honey, I'm going into work today. I'm going to be lit on fire, numerous times. No big deal. And it's just that's something you get paid for. It's something you have to write on your tax forms. Is I get lit on fire for a living.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is that they actually have to do these things, and then if they get on set and they've said in the audition, "Oh yeah, I can do it," they better make sure that they can do it, because otherwise it's going to really look bad on the stunt coordinator as well as on them. The whole team is going to, suffer for it.
It'll hinder production, because then they got to find someone else who, actually does have profession with that. So it does make sense that they have to re-up on their, recertify and make sure that they know what skills are required of them. And you said they said that there were certain levels of, say, martial arts. So there's a level 2 martial artist. There's a level 3 martial artist.
Well, they actually have to be graded by a specific grade per things that they do. I'm actually looking at the Stunt School Association, the US Stunt School Association. I don't know whether this is it says the United Stuntmen's Association, basically. But they do summer classes. Now, this is the total difference between the UK and the US. They do, we've got a couple of courses this summer. We can put you on fire. We can stunt drive. We've got high falls, air ramp, mini tramp. You've got all that stuff. And go. Now you can be a stunt guy. I think and in England, as you see, it's a totally different ball of wax.
Right, exactly. So one question I have for you, in England, it's totally different. What's it like in America then?
Well, that's what it is. That's what it is in America, David. It's the different stuff. They've got courses. There's summer courses to do in America. These types of different things Western combat and all that. I mean, obviously, it will probably take more time to do it, but in reality, it's not as. It's the same thing as estheticians here. You spend a 6-month course here. In Europe, it's 3-4 years. It's like doing a doctor's course.
Wow. Yeah.
Totally different, and you learn so much more. So I think, if you want to become a stuntman here, you can, but just be very careful when you do it.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have this show has been fun to put out for you guys. It's been we've got some stuff coming up very soon, which is we're going to be bringing on Art Camacho. We're going to be bringing on well, David, you can talk a little bit about Art, as well as my dear friend Alexander Nevsky, who actually did a couple of films, who's a bodybuilder originally, but then became a bodyguard and a stunt performer, then producer, and he produced all these films, one of which actually Art directed, that I was in about 2 summers ago.
Which one was that?
That was, oh God, now you got me. Summer, what was it called? I've forgotten the name of it now. There you go. That really kills me. That makes me, it was one of those ones I did, which was kind of fun to do, because it was all in Russian, mainly. I had to do a little bit of Russian speaking.
So did you have to learn Russian for it?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
wow.
I was given 3 days to learn it.
Did you hold
my first scene?
Did you hold on to your Russian?
No, not at all. They turned around to me and they basically said, "Oh, here I said, you wanted me to live in Russia for all this time in the character, so I should speak some Russian." But like, "Hey, here's some lines." I'm like, "When do I start?" "Oh, Thursday." And it's like Monday. I'm like, "Oh, you really?" So I had my assistant basically helping me learn lines as I did it. And then when the first scene we did, the other Russian actor looked at me after I'd done the scene in Russian. He goes, "I didn't understand a thing you said." I was like, all right then, okay. Anyway, we're going to be bringing you a lot of people. I hope you join us next time. We have a lot of exciting guests coming in, as well as a new kind of direction we're going to be going in regarding the stunts and the action sequences in Hollywood movies. So I hope you join us again. I hope you share this podcast. Thank you for all of you on Patreon that are supporting us on Patreon, because without you, we won't be able to bring this podcast to you for free. Remember, we don't charge you for this. All right, so until next time, this is Adrian Paul,
David Bethke,
and this is the Hollywood Experience. Talk to you soon.